Hello everyone. In our previous sessions in the series of Dataweave videos, we have discussed about map and map object. So we are continuing this series. Okay, this is the part 3 of Dataweave series, and some of the most important and commonly used operators are, map. We have already discussed about this in last session. So map can be applied only on arrays, and once we apply map operator, the output type is also an array. Okay, so and it is used for array of objects. And then map object. So map object, again we have discussed this. So it is applied only on objects. Even the output type is also object, and used for whenever output is, we require it in our object, we'll be using map object. So these are the two things, map and map object. So whenever someone asks you the differences, you can say like on what kind of input we can apply this operator. For example, map we can apply only on arrays, map object we can only apply on object, and what is the return type that it comes, right? When you apply map, the output is always an array. When you apply map object, the output is always an object. All right, so we will be discussing three more operators which are widely and commonly used operators in Dataweave. So the first one is reduce. Okay, when we use reduce and on what we can use reduce, right? So this is the very important thing. So we can use this reduce operation only on arrays, right? And what is the output type? Once we apply reduce on array, what it will result? It will result into a single value or an object. Okay, the output type will be something like that. Okay, what is used, what is like, why we are using reduce function? Because to reduce into a given expression, we will see more details in the hands-on. Okay, for now you have to understand that reduce operator can only be used on arrays. If someone gives you a question, by providing an input as an object and ask you to use reduce operation, you should straight away say that we cannot use reduce operation on objects. All right, but reduce operation will result into a single value or object. Second thing is pluck. Pluck is almost like a map object. Okay, so but what is the main difference between pluck and map object is map object can be applied on objects. Even yes, pluck also you can apply only on objects, you cannot apply on array. But in whereas in map object, the output will result into an object, but in pluck the output is always resulted in array. So why we use pluck? Pluck, the name itself says like to pluck something. Okay, to extract some things. We'll see that also in our hands-on session. So for you to understand in a easier way, pluck and map objects are one and the same. It can be applied only on objects, but the only difference is the output type. Pluck will return array, whereas map object will return the same object. And the last one, for the most commonly used operators, is flatten. Okay, flatten can be applied only on arrays, and the output type is also a single set of array. Suppose you have two arrays, right? And if you want to combine those two arrays into one single set of array, you can apply flatten. All right, so these are the most commonly used operators. Please try to understand on what type of inputs we can apply. Okay, that is very important. And what is the type of output that we'll get, even that is very important. Okay, so let's get into hands-on. If you go to Anypoint Studio, I have created few transfer message. I have already said, like, I'm explaining all this Dataweave tutorials using the preview feature. So now let's get started with flatten operator. So I told you, right, flatten operator can only be applied on arrays. Okay, let me enable preview mode. Okay, so here you can see, for example, let me remove this and give as object something. Okay, suppose I have an object, let me say like, name Shravan. All right, so if I try to apply flatten to an object, it will return array saying that you cannot apply. So here you can see, right, even this expression will say you call the function flatten with object, but it is expecting array. So please don't try to apply flatten on object. All right, remove this. For example, we have something like a, you can see, right, my sample input for a is 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, if you apply flatten on it, nothing happens here because you're not combining any two arrays or something, isn't it? So it will give the same result. Okay, a and flatten of a will result in the same thing. One more important thing you have to understand is flatten of something in small brackets, you can pass only one argument within small bracket. You cannot pass a comma b, it will not accept. Why? It is saying that too many parameters expecting, because this function flatten will accept only one parameter. But in that case, what you can do is, you can suppose, you can see a is equal to 1 2 3, and let me add where x equal to 4 comma 5 comma 6. Okay, now what I'll try to do is, I cannot use a comma b. Okay, what you can do is give a curly braces, either you can use a comma x. Okay, that will result in 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, don't forget to put this within square brackets. What if you are not having square brackets, right? It will result, because it is something like you are passing two parameters. But I told you, right, whatever you are giving within array, it will consider this whole part as one value, one parameter. So it will result into 1 2 3 4 5 6. You can see these two arrays are combined into a single set. All right, so the same thing that we are doing. Okay, either you can do this, or what you can do is you can keep it in a separate way, one and the same, where z equal to, first what you can do is you can keep a comma x. All right, and if you remove this flatten of z, if you give, this will result in the same thing. Either you can directly give square brackets a comma x, or you can, keep it in a variable and give that flatten of z. So it will give 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now for example, a is giving 1 2 3. Just observe the output, how it is showing 1 2 3 comma x 1 2 3 4 5 6 comma, you can see here b is something array of objects, right? So still it is an array, so we can apply comma b. You can see how the output is, right, within array. So I told you, right, flatten will also result in an array where it is a combination of all the arrays 1 2 3 4 5 6, name, name, and this thing. You can also use like b dot name. So here you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 Ravanlingam. Okay, whenever you want to combine two arrays into a single set of array, two or more, it's not just two, you can add as many number as of flattens you want. Okay, I mean arrays you want, so that it will result into a single set. Okay, what if you are adding, if you observe in x, I am just trying to wrap within another square bracket, what will happen? You can see that you are having 1 2 3. Okay, there is an array with a box, square brackets, and surrounding them. Okay, if there is any scenario where you wanted to add square brackets, you can feel free to add it. Okay, this is all about flatten. So I told like flatten is applied only on arrays. It accepts only single argument. This whole part we are wrapping up within square brackets, right? So that is a single argument. Okay, and the output result in array. This is all about flatten. So let's get started about pluck. What is pluck? Okay, as we discussed in the slide, pluck is something which is similar to map object, right? Map object and pluck are one and the same. So what is the difference between pluck and map object is, the pluck will result into an array. For example, you can see here I have a, which is like XML, which is having prices. This is a small example. So before this I wanted to tell you something. Always whenever you are using any operator, please check whether that operator is available for that particular runtime you are using. Example, here you are seeing 4.3 runtime, right? So make sure that it is available even in 4.2. Suppose you are working with 4.2, right? And if it is available, if you are seeing here, then yes, it is available. All right, so for example, let me show you some example called join operator, which we will be discussing in later point of time. If you see join by, so here you can see in 4.2 runtime join operator is available, but when I click on 4.1 runtime, it will say like even 4.1 is available. I think there is another operator called join, so let me put like join mule4. Join by is different from join. So if I click on this, this is 4.3 runtime. It is available, well and good, which we'll be discussing at later point of time. And if you type 4.1 runtime, you can say it is page not found. That means this particular join operator is introduced in 4.2 runtime. So if at all you are using this join operator in 4.1 runtime, it will throw you an error saying that join operator cannot be used. So you should be very specific whenever you are using some operator. Please try to check if it is compatible with your runtime version. All right. So coming back to our pluck, okay, and also that, like, MuleSoft documentation is the best place where you can find best definitions with best examples. So please have a read over there and just try to do some hands-on. Okay, now my variable a is something like XML. Okay, b I have something. Okay, it's a array. All right, and I told you, right, pluck can be applied only on object, not arrays. So if you try to use pluck for b, it will not accept because b is an array. All right, now you can check something. I am using a pluck x comma y comma z. All right, then what it is happening here, you can see the output here is square brackets. That means it is an array. Okay, test colon x. So what is x? What pluck is giving here? X is nothing but it is giving the whole value of basic, premium, all this, values of prices, right? So then what is y here? Okay, when you see here y, it is giving only test and prices. What does that means? It is giving the key, the basic key, the root key value, prices, right? And what is z? Z is, it is giving the index. So what if I replace this plug? Now let me put x over here. Okay, when you are giving x, it is giving basic, premium, VIP, which is nothing but these three values. What if I remove plug? Okay, and observe that it is wrapped under square brackets. That means it is an array. Now I will just remove plug and keep map object. Sorry. Now you can observe only difference between two of those things is it is an object here, whereas when you have used pluck, it added just a square bracket. Okay, so let me put pluck over here. Okay, so you can see that an extra square brackets is added just to make sure that it results into an array. Okay, next thing I wanted to tell you is now let me remove this part. Okay, and just put, so what is a, right? If I just use a, when I convert this XML into JSON, a is something like this, right? It is an object, prices, you are having all these things. Now if I keep a dot prices, okay, if I give a dot prices, it is giving me basic, premium and VIP, right? Next, so now if I use pluck, I want to pluck something. What I wanted to pluck? I want to pluck dollar. Then what is dollar here? What it is giving? It is an array. Again I am repeating, pluck will return an array of only values. So dollar is something which will extract only values. What if I keep dollar dollar, right? Now it is giving me only keys here. Okay, now in any scenario, in any situation, if at all if you want to extract the keys, right, it's not like in an object, only in an object, not in an array. Okay, if you are having an object where you want to extract only keys, this is how you need to do. Pluck dollar dollar will give you keys. Also there is an additional operator recently which is introduced called keys of. Okay, even that you can use. I'll explain you that in the later point of time, but here if you want to extract keys, you can use base, pluck dollar dollar. What if I use dollar 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 $3? Okay, you can see it is giving the index 0 1 2. Okay, so you have to observe this difference, but again for all the three results it is an array. All right, so dollar 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 gives 0 1 2, dollar dollar will give the key values. Okay, keys, that means keys, and next if I use dollar, okay, it is giving me the values of those specific keys. Okay, this is all about pluck. Okay, that's what I have written. These are the commands. Okay, if you want to put any commands, you can use /* and you can end this. Okay, pluck can be only applied on object. The result of pluck would be an array. Okay, replace with pluck with map object, and observe, we have seen that. Okay, now can we apply pluck on array? So B is an array, right? You can see here B is an array. Here it is directly saying that, okay, here it will throw an error saying that your value selector is, you call the function pluck with array, but it expects an object. Okay, you have to be very specific in this kind of situations. Okay, whenever you are using any operator, make sure that on what type, on what type you can apply. Either you can apply on objects, or either you can apply on array. All right, this is all about pluck. Let us go to the last operator for this session, which is like reduce. Okay, reduce, the name itself says, like, it will reduce into one scenario. Okay, this is more kind of tricky thing if you want to understand, but try to understand in a easier way. Okay, I'll try to explain in easier way. Again, first, very important thing, reduce can be applied only on arrays. Okay, and it results in object or into set of single value. Okay, so I can say, like, single value. Now instantly, I told you, right, it can be applied only on arrays. So what I can do is, first I can keep one example, 1 comma t comma 3 comma 4. Okay, let us consider that we have an input like 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. Now we can apply reduce. Reduce is something where you can apply here reduce, okay, of, if you just keep a dollar, see, observe the things how it will come. It will give only the last value anytime. Okay, this one will give last value. If you give dollar, okay, it will give the first value. Okay, so generally we won't use for this purpose. We will be using just so reduce operator, it is said in the official documentation that it is we can pass two arguments called item and accumulator. Okay, I don't want to confuse you explaining about those things, but just observe how the things are there. Now let us forget about dollar and dollar separately. Now let us observe, if I use dollar plus dollar, what is happening over here? It is giving 1 2 3 4. What we are doing over here is, so what is happening over here is, it is reducing into a single value. Okay, this expression by concatenating. Plus is something you are concatenating, 1 2 3 4, and this is something expression I have written dollar plus dollar. What if I give dollar plus dollar? Like I told you, right, dollar will give the last value, so for 44. What if I give dollar plus dollar? It will give the reverse of the number, not number, reverse of the array values, right? 4 3 2 1. That's what happened over here. This is when we are using plus operator, because plus is something like concatenation operator. It worked. Okay, it worked. If you just remove 3 also, you can see Shravan. Okay, and you can see, like, 4 Shravan 2 1, something like that. All right, so this is about reduce when you use like dollar plus dollar. If you have dollar plus dollar, you will be observing 1 2 3 4 here. Now what if I use single plus operator? That means it is an addition, right? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is result in 10. If you give dollar or dollar, it will result into same, right? It will result into the same result, because addition from front to back or back to front is one and the same. Okay, this is about reduce operator. Now here, when you are using single place, you should make sure that every element in an array should be a number. If you are giving Shravan here, it cannot add SRA, string, right? So that's what it is saying. You called a function plus with argument number, but it is expecting an array. Okay, so you should be very careful when you are applying any operator. All right, next thing is, I told you, right, you can also use something like, instead of dollar and dollar, you can keep something like give some name. Okay, now for your understanding I'm using item comma acc accumulator. What you can do is, so let me cut this. Okay, one small braces, another small braces, use item comma this one. Okay, and something like this, and write type item. Okay, what it is giving, it is giving 4. This is last number. If you have observed this concept in map object also, we have discussed using in map operator we have used both dollar and dollar dollar. Also we were passing some arguments like item key comma index or something. This is just like same thing. Now 1 2 3 4 reduce this part will result the same thing if you are writing this expression as well. Instead of writing all these things, if you just give, okay, dollar, okay, what it is giving, it is giving 4 only. So here you need to analyze that item. This first you can give any naming convention. Okay, you can write Shravan here, MuleSoft here, and you can use the same things here, but item is something related to dollar, and this acc is nothing but dollar dollar. Okay, how to check that? For example, now dollar dollar, if I give, it is resulting in 1. Okay, now let me comment it out and uncomment this part again, and here you can see now it is giving 4 because item is dollar. Now to have dollar dollar I can use acc. Okay, now it is giving 1. All right, so next thing, we have one more good thing here. What it is, acc is nothing but it is giving the first value, right? Here you can define something like acc equal to 3. Okay, what it is having, acc equal to 3, if you are defining here, you are passing the same value, so it will not consider this one. Okay, so you can pass some value, you can assign some value into acc, you have that facility in this reduce operation. But in which scenario it can be used, I will try to explain in this. Okay, for example here a, okay, for now a, you can see a reduce in any scenario. If you are having, this is one of the most commonly used functionality whenever there is an array, okay, of objects, and you want to put everything into one object, right? In that case you can use reduce operation. I told you, right, reduce operation will result into single value or an object. Okay, nowhere you can use, without with any operator you cannot perform this operation, only it is possible with reduce. So here you can see name Shravan, id 1, name Lingam, id 2, everything is reduced into one object with these values. All right, now this is because item plus plus acc. You can also use the same thing. Okay, using the same a reduce dollar plus dollar dollar also will result in same thing. Now next part, a dot id, what it will do, a dot id is giving 2 comma 1 2 1 because we are using dollar plus plus dollar dollar. If you are using dollar dollar plus dollar, it will give 1 2, right? Just we have done here, right? It is the same thing. All right, next thing is the same thing if you want to implement over here. Okay, a dot id, right, it will give 2 1. Okay, but if you are this is because of concat operator. If you are using single plus, it will give 3. Now if at all I want to send acc equal to 5, how much the value it is giving? So it is giving 2 plus 1 plus 5, that is totally 8. So this is how you can pass some value into accumulator. Then what it will do is, you can see, right, item plus accumulator, that means dollar dollar plus dollar. All right, 5 plus 2 plus 1 will give 8. Okay, next if you do multiplication, what will happen? Okay, 1 2s are 2, 2 5s are 10, it is resulting into 10. All right, so this is the advantage of using reduce operator. It will result into a single value or into set of single object. All right, so hope you like this session, and please try to do hands-on from your side as well for best practice. That's the only way. There are no shortcuts, only way is to practice practice practice. Thank you.